everyone, it's Miss Ryan here. I hope you all had a lovely Easter break and are back and raring to go. So, welcome to your reading sessions for this week. It's Monday, which means it is our book talk session. So, because our new narrative is now the Titanic, which is extremely exciting, we've chosen two short eyewitness statements, which we are going to unpick and eventually compare. So what we're going to look at will actually help you with your English task because these are written in first person. So I'm going to read to you now the first eyewitness account, and you can read along with me if you'd like, or you could pause it after I've finished and reread it again. So here we go. English schoolmaster Lawrence Beasley. As I dressed, I heard the order shouted, "All passengers on deck with lifebelts on." We all walked up slowly with the lifebelts tied over our clothing, but even then we presumed that this was merely a wise precaution the captain was taking. The ship was absolutely still, and except for the gentle, almost unnoticeable tilt downwards, there were no visible signs of the approaching disaster. In a few moments, we saw the covers being lifted from the boats and the crews allotted to them standing by and uncoiling the ropes, which were to lower them. We then began to realise that it was a more serious matter than we had at first supposed. Presently, we heard the order, "All men stand back, and all ladies retire to the deck below." The men stood away and waited in absolute silence, some leaning against the railings of the deck, others pacing slowly up and down. The women got into the boats quietly, with the exception of some who refused to leave their husbands. In some cases, they were torn from them and pushed into boats, but in many instances, they were allowed to actually remain, since there was no one to insist that they should go. So that was his particular experience of that traumatic, horrendous night. So just before we dig a little bit deeper into it, because I know we've all slept since we last did this, it's been the Easter holidays, just thought I'd remind you all what we do in our book talk session. So we look at our thoughts. So you might have sentences like, "I think this," and why you think that particular thought. We look at our feelings. Okay, so are we feeling worried for them? Are we feeling happy? Are we feeling scared? And we also look at our wonders. I wonder what if this, and I wonder what if that. So you might want to start using these sentence starters. So you could start with maybe. Okay, it's just your thoughts. You can't be possibly wrong in book talk. This indicates, which means this suggests this might have happened. And we use perhaps quite a lot as well. And also, don't forget to ask and answer your own questions. So, just made it smaller for you just so I can model the first couple of sentences and then you guys can get cracking on your own. So let's have a look straight away. English schoolmaster Lawrence Beasley. So straight away I'm thinking, well, is he actually a survivor? Is he a survivor? Okay. Why was he actually on board the ship in the first place? All these questions that you could be asking. So let's see what he said. As I dressed, I heard the order shouted. So straight away, we've got as I dress. Now, is it morning time? So perhaps it is morning. If he's getting dressed, to me, that suggests, as it suggests, he is just getting out of bed. Maybe it's not morning at all. Maybe it's the middle of the night. So we can go back and add to our thoughts, or the middle of the night. Okay. I heard the order shouted. Okay, so somebody's giving this command. Okay, so we can have a prediction that it could be maybe the captain or one of the members of the crew. So maybe a member of the crew is giving the demand. You have to bear with me while I just make this look nicer. Okay, so all passengers on deck with life belts on. So it's quite an abrupt command, I think, which means it's quite straight to the point. So, oh, okay. Okay. So we all walked up slowly with the life belts tied over our clothing. So I'm thinking straight away, if this is a traumatic disaster, why are they walking? Why are they walking slowly? Okay. So to answer my own question, oh, there we go. Perhaps they don't yet realise the severity of the situation. Still quite calm at this point. Don't think anyone really knows what's going on just yet. Okay, but even then, we presumed, so this just concludes what I've just said. We presumed that this was merely a wise precaution the captain was taking. So they're presuming it's a precaution. Now, I've heard the word precaution before. So, for example, when the fire alarm goes off at school, that is a precaution. So a precaution is just precaution is an action taken to stop something dangerous happening. Okay, so I think at the minute, in fact, another thought, they actually are quite laid back. And even a better way of saying that, they're at ease. Okay, so I'm just going to add here, they're presuming it's just a precaution, they're still quite calm and they're at ease, quite laid back. Okay, so presume it was merely a precaution. Now, merely is a word that I've not come across, so I'm just going to underline that, as in our session we would normally highlight it. So I might come back to that word merely. We might look at that word in our vocabulary session this week to uncover what that might mean. So it was merely a wise precaution, something you could perhaps start looking up. Okay, so the ship was absolutely still. Now that's quite an unusual sentence. Okay, so I might write something like, this is quite unusual. Maybe the commotion hasn't yet begun. Okay, if the ship is still quite still, maybe everyone's a bit nonchalant, everyone's still quite relaxed. Okay, so I'm gonna move that, make that a bit smaller. Okay, except for the gentle, almost unnoticeable tilt downwards. So the ship is at its tilt. To me, if it's at its tilt, I wonder if this means it has begun to sink. Okay. And fact that that is unnoticeable is quite unusual again. That no one maybe has actually noticed that it's at this tilt. I don't know. But there were no visible signs of the approaching disaster. So, from that so far, to me, that suggests that at the moment, the order's just been given for everyone to get their life belts on and to go to the correct deck. But at the minute, everyone seems pretty relaxed. Okay? So, I'm going to leave it there. So, what you need to do, this is your task now, and I know how amazing you all are at this. You can use your science books, you can print it out if you'd like, or you could choose a couple of sentences to write out and expand on. It's up to you how you want to present it. There's no expectations there, but have a good go at continuing to unpick the rest of it. You can email your work to myself or Mr. Fox or Miss Dyer, or you can tweet it on our Twitter page if you like. So have fun with this one. We will do the second extract tomorrow, and I will speak to you then. Goodbye.